We're going to do something weird today. We are going to open up bandlabs and speed run making a beat. I'm going to use entirely samples and mainly doing this to see if my computer can handle all this at once. I actually don't think it will. I think it'll break. I think it'll blow up. So hopefully I don't get a copyright strike for using samples or whatever. I doubt that's the case, but I never know with any of these things. So last time I popped in here, I was looking through my docket here. Let's check. The monitoring's about the same as the voice, so I just need to be loud. Okay, it's cool, but I want you guys to hear the music anyways. I want to use this as a kind of a tutorial for anybody who just wants to get into making beats and doesn't really have like a lot of skills in using the more difficult softwares like Logic, but I'll be doing that in the future. I think that's cool. Let's drag and drop that. Let's see, where's like a 1 bar beat, maybe. That's nice. So then we slide this so that we can hear our repeat. Weirdly enough, that actually hits. Wow, that's weird. So now let's get tapping my foot to it. That's nice. That's how you know. I don't know about that. So then we're gonna take this and we're gonna Control C. We're gonna schmaneuver over here. We're gonna pop it over here. We're gonna bring this to, that's how many bars we have so far. So we need to get a snare. They have claps. Doesn't look like they have, oh, yep. Seems like a beat. I thought that I saw a snare. Was I tripping? There we go. Oh, goodness. It's a really open snare sounds. That's kind of a syncopated. Let's put the snare right there. And let's put the hi-hats right. Let's put that right there. So the hi-hats will get 4 bars. So that measures out to there. We'll have the snare show up in the 8. So then we've got another 4 bars of that. That lets the kick reintroduce itself, so we're using the hi-hat as a way to settle down. So we'll listen to that. As the hi-hat is introduced, we probably got those 2 bars. I could see it, or I could see it all like come in at once. Let's just experiment with like a kind of a full arsenal. So we want to put some sounds on top of this is really what we're looking at here. Because about here, this is a minute of just drums. Nothing wrong with that. Do what you want, but let's listen to it. You want to try not to be too confusing with drums. You don't want a bunch of okay. Keep it simple. That's why they call it minimal techno, I guess. It's just kind of just a build up, but we need like a bass line. That's gonna be hard because it needs a line up. But that's pretty straight. So let's see. Oh, that sucks. That sucks really bad. That bounces. We're not just throwing it away right away. We're listening to what's happening. Okay. So then what I'll do is I'm going to pause this knowing full and well we've got something there. I'm going to bring the kick over. Let's just say after that, because this would be how many bars before a change? So boom, we've got 8, or no, we got 4 right here. We're basically just doing math. And then over here we have it, yeah, so that's going to feel awkward to have this. So we're just going to backspace it. We're going to take this entire beat and we are going to move it over. So, oh shit. I'm not the guy. I'm so sorry. But hey, now you can see that you can make it. If I can make a beat, speed run a beat, then you can too. So now let's assume shorter's not worse. We're gonna just make an assumption here. We're gonna take just the kick and clap pattern without the hi-hat. We're gonna click way too many buttons. I hope you guys are having fun, because I'm having a blast. Okay, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna come back to this and we're just gonna paste it in there. So kind of the same thing's gonna happen. The kick's gonna drop off, and up to this point we don't really know that we have any kind of song. So one of the things we're gonna look for is just an underlying melody that we can kind of blend all this together. And I'm not thinking we're going to make a long song today because we're already at 6 minutes. I'm hoping to keep this under 30. Textured basses. Okay. Wow. So let's see. If we were to go down here and we were to find everything's 2 bars. So they want us to build in 2s, which we have been building in 2s actually. That sounds like a bass, but it also doesn't. It's very growly. That could work. You never know. So that sets us in a key. And a lot of times a bass on its own, if you just have it playing and repeat, it kind of gets lame. So let's chop it up. Let's go in here, and for each single bar, actually be less than a single bar. It's for every half bar. So our one beat is made up of 4 chops. If we chopped all these together, we're dealing with 1 E and a 2, right? And the strong beats that we want to emphasize with traditional like Western music is 1 and, or 1 3. So when this repeats, it will land on the 3. So we're basically focusing on this first one primarily. Let's see what happens if I chop out every 1 and 2 and 1 E and let's chop out every E. If we chop out every E and we'll just get like a warble, and then we can just listen to that. Okay, that's really nice actually. And then we can build kind of tension with those kind of like growls. And then when we get over to our snare, or our kick, sorry, we can let it sit down, or a different bass. Let's take our bass that we already were using, and let's let it kind of hang a little bit longer. So now we're gonna chop it into longer sections. So give the feeling, I believe, we don't know until we play it. It's all about experimentation. I think that this will give the feeling, oops, not a slice, no. I think this will give a feeling of like an extended breath. Okay, it pulls it back a lot. Okay, I like what we got here. So we're kind of building up to the bass. We want the bass to seem like a big deal. So when we get over here, we might actually want to just let it breathe once we get here. Let's experiment with that. The first beat. There. Let's try. Nah. Let's just hear it like that, and then in this mid space, we do kind of have this to work with to kind of have a repetition, so it kind of changes the feeling of like letting it fully breathe. Let's listen to that. And the bass is designed to kind of hold down the song. In this kind of method, the melody gets to be a little more complex. Okay. Okay. Nice, building tension. No, yeah, so we want some more of that. So now it felt really good to let it breathe. We can just start right from there. Okay, I like it. Okay, cool. And this is one of those weird things about like building a beat, just in this sense, where we're just playing around with math, is that it just doesn't work until it starts to work. And it might not be for everybody, but like you're creating something. You're not supposed to win. Winning comes once you kind of find what it is that you're really trying to do here. So I can see just on the math here that I almost want to come right back because I want to emphasize that moment. I want people to feel that moment. I like teaching the beat making. I might keep doing this. And then we kind of get into this where I almost want to bring back. Oh, that's a hard one. Because I want the breathing together. So let's see. There's breathing. We could actually extend this. Let's see what happens. That's a lot. But we don't know till we hear it. Check my recording. So 12 minutes in, we've got something moving. Let me check my time. I actually got to go play music on the drums here soon. Myself, I gotta go make some real life beats. I like this texture bass. This is nice. Okay, it feels like relief. Okay. So we're sitting on a lot. Okay. I like it. We're just gonna hear the space. That's so syncopated. Okay, and syncopation is when a beat feels like it's kind of off the beat. That's a lot of tension to build. So it might not feel like it, but we really want this section that has a lot of tension to kind of come back really on the nose with that, because we are building a lot of tension just holding out. So we need to come back and return and give that dance back. So now we have extended what we're working with. We're looking at 1:30. Let's aim for 2 minutes on our song. We built so much tension right here. That's 8 bars of tension. We gotta give that back to the listener. And I think a section that So we're going to take this and work with it. So we'll still keep some tension, but we will be kind of breaking away from having so much breathing. So now one of the things that's going to happen is this hi-hat's going to get kind of tiresome. At least that's my guess here. So I want to keep the beat. Like I said, we want to give back some of that motion. Oh, what's going on here? Are we about to learn a lesson? Yeah. So all together, that might make sense to do it kind of that way. Let's put that back. That puts us at 2 minutes. Okay, so we're going to fulfill the entire recording right here. This is just our playback. This red line up here tells us what's going to be played back to us. Let's hear it as a full as I look through melodies. Gotta have something that contrasts this to keep it from feeling old. Okay, so that's a riser. That's gonna be kind of rock. That's gonna be kind of fun. That's funky. Yeah. We do have some vocals that we could use in that. I know it's super hard to listen to like samples while you're playing a song. It messes with your brain a little bit, but we gotta get those sounds. We gotta hear it while the song is playing. And you gotta kind of pretend that it's on beat a little bit. Let's this is moving. So we don't need more movement. We need some more stuff in the upper range. Okay, so that's our entire song. We redlined the whole thing. So then yeah, that felt good. That did not feel too bad. So we'll just extend that kick out. And we'll extend the clap 2 bars. So the song will kind of end with just a kick out. Boom, 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 boom. Now the first beat that we started with, we can return it. So it feels like we could, but I doubt we want to. You know, we could try anything. We could... Ooh, weird. Dude, anything's worth a try. So, now that we've got a groove, we want to let the groove talk a little bit before we introduce the kind of underlying sound. And I think it's at this part that we start to build up the most hitting power. Actually, no. So right here is where we have that kind of release. And before we ever get to this, one of the skills that we can use in bandlab is we can put the sample here. Right? Let's say the sample extends to where's our baseline start? Yeah, so we can actually build up the volume. So by clicking on this thing right here, we're saying that we want the volume to be altered to that point. So now we can hear it with that. But we're going to do a little bit more before we play it back. We're going to take a risk. So right here we have like a hit. And right here we have a calm down over here. So we might reintroduce the piano. We might have the piano through the whole thing, or we can just drop it right in. So I'm going to copy it. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to hit it. And I'm going to tell it not to duplicate so that the volume stays consistent. Now let's see how long it is. It extends the entire song. So that return of that extends the entire song. And in that calm phase, we can allow it to build up so it truly does come back. I'm placing this here so the other thing doesn't get altered, so I can actually tell it that right there is where I want it to do that. We want to drop in some vocals and stuff, but let's Let's hear it, and then let's just punch some vocals while we do that. The real good question is the beginning boring, or does it hold its own? That's a great riser. Okay, so risers help us build tension. So as we are going to bring in a section, we can build tension. We can build tension. Oh, no. So we can undo by clicking the undo redo arrows, you know. So we're going to go back over here. I realized that I need a new layer for this. So I'm going to backspace it. I'm going to bring it in down here. So this is one of the ways that we can build tension, and we could have it muddied all over, but I think the initial movement from that sounds good. So instead, we're going to be kind of generous with it, and we can even put it at the final beat if we want. Because right now, let's listen to that. So does this build like excitement? That's the question I want you to ask. Boom. That sounds really rather calm, so it kind of pulls back. Sorry about that awful sound. I didn't even hear that. Yeah, because it gets muddied into that, which is okay. Okay, cool. Maybe this is where we're at. Maybe we don't have to do too much. Minimalism is really important to me. Doesn't have to be something you're going for. We're just going to listen to the whole song. Just going to listen to the whole song. That totally doesn't work. That sucks so bad. We're going to listen to it suck first. I mean, it doesn't sound bad there, but it doesn't sound like it lines up with the bass. So we learned that. It's okay. It's a learning experience. We very much could be doing too much. I might have deleted the automation, but that's okay, because... So we'll start here. We'll pretend we were in that groove. Da, 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 da. Ah, that sucks, man. Okay, don't be afraid to suck, you know? You never know. You never know. It could be awesome. I think it's just, it brings in this really bright vibe that doesn't work for the song. So we're going to go ahead, this part, pretend we're in a bunch of tension. Bum, 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 boom, bum, bum, bum. What? That might be okay. It's weird. Yeah, I don't know about all that. Texture of the bass is really not lining up with that piano. Let's learn from our failures here. Wow, that sounds gross. That was the whole song? Oh yeah, no, that's not gonna fly. That is not gonna work. So we're gonna get rid of that piano. But like, hey, we don't know till we try. One of the things that I do think works is the hi-hat. Like, we built up a lot of cool tension whenever we added that hi-hat. So we're thinking in terms of drum and bass right now. I really don't have a melody. And we can build up here too. Don't be afraid to use the same kind of sample over and over again. Too much information is hard. It's hard on a listener. So we're gonna build up here to And then we don't really have much else other going on than that. Now, if we can pull off getting a melody in here, I would love to. But we're looking at 25 minutes into it, and we have drum and bass, which is, I think it's pretty good as far as time-wise. If you're trying to get into this, that I would feel good about that. And I was honestly getting kind of choked up and confused while I was doing this. So just imagine if you're feeling the flow, you know? So let's get out of that territory completely and just listen to what we're looking at here.
White wine on the balcony.
I could see those. So too much hits right there, that 4 hits, that can be too much. That actually could work. So we're going to make another layer here, and we're just going to hear it right at the beginning. We could just have it along the lines of that. And we can also change the volume dynamic of it, but we're just going to try it on that and just see if that alone can build up to us. So now we're in our groove here. We're trying to keep our groove interesting. This is where a clap is introduced. And we could introduce it there too. Or I've used that for another song. I really like that.
Spaceship taking off pronto. Make
What
you feel
the
some
fuck?
type of way. Magical crystals, time travel in style. Diamonds on my neck, diamonds on my wrist. Magical
What?
crystals, time. Okay, we cybernetic super tech. Sort of beats that make you break your neck.
Who
Okay,
knows?
we cybernetic
Who knows,
super-
right? Let's see.
Magical crystals, time travel in style.
What?
Diamonds on my neck.
This has got to be stupid, but you got to know, right?
Okay, we cybernetic super tech. Sort of beats that make you break your neck. Magical crystals, time travel in style. Diamonds on my neck.
Wow, that sucks so bad. Well, I think it's fun. I think it's fun to not,
Haters all look pathetic.
you know,
In the
go
lab,
against
looking
it until
fresh.
you see.
Futurist vibes electric. Party. Futurist vibes electric.
I really like the melody that I was finding when I clicked on this. So let's see where that melody comes from. It comes from a synth. It's kind of like Legos. It's like build your own adventure. If you just took one sample and just built with it, then you really are playing like a paint by the numbers, like Lego thing. But you can somehow find more creativity in that at times because of the limitation. It breeds you to use more of the tools here and to chop it up. This might oppose it nicely. I think it could work if it was chopped up. So let's see. We'll put it on the 3 measure, and then we'll just take a chop of it. We'll take a slice, and we'll copy it just like we do when we're using keys of any kind. Just Control C, and we'll go dop, and we'll just kind of we'll just build up to it, And then we'll take the second chop here. So we're kind of like saying, oh, this is coming up. We're doing some storytelling with these chunks. We're playing Lego storytelling with sounds. Boom, we're building up to this. It's a little bit faster. Then we give it a break. Then we come over here and we're at our finale. So this is the last sound that a person hears. So then we're gonna take that. We're going to V, so it repeats. This is gonna be kind of an overlay. We're building up excitement, and then hit it on the 3 and hit it on the 3 again. Once again, it could suck. I want you guys to make stuff that sucks and then learn that you don't like it. That's how you learn. It could just be quieter, honestly. Yeah. Okay, so that's what we're going to do here. We're going to make it quiet. And then later in the song, when it repeats, we're going to make it loud. And I'm just going to set the bar up to just a little bit louder. We're then going to take this whole thing. We're going to grab it. So we have that copied. We're going to figure out where our tension's building. Okay, see my hi-hats. So this is where it's supposed to jump back in. I want to get it on the measurement. Remember, we're playing math. We're doing math games here. So now it's a little bit louder. And maybe we don't even want it fully loud yet. Maybe we want it to start off rather quiet and build up. Do 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 do. Right there. We could build up with the hi-hat. Okay, so now we're going over the decibel. So we only want it to build up a little bit because we don't really know. Before, when we had it at normal decibel, it was like already too much. So let's build up to that. And then we're looking at our whole song and we're saying, okay, it ends right there. So how many bars is this? This is probably just like really just one section. So let's assume it's probably going to be right there. I think that it does, and then just don't duplicate because you want to automatically make the movements. Okay, that's not true at all, is it? Yeah, it lines up. And then we finish off with 8 bars. And we can just kind of repeat it, I guess. Don't duplicate. Or do we want to chop the back half off? Maybe we just don't want that. I think we just don't want it. I think we should just listen to that. Check our time. 33 minutes in. Does our melody work or not? I'm going to go with it regardless. Art doesn't have to be perfect at all. You have no idea how somebody's going to connect with just what it is that you feel like creating. The point is just to create. But I don't want this to be a representation of some kind of musicality elitism. Absolutely not. I don't want to make that. I don't want to make elite music. I want to make emotional music or fun music or cool, goofy, weird. Okay, so because we've dropped the volume down, it blends in a little bit better, builds up expectation. So it moved not your body's beat, but it moved where your head is finding the beat. So that's one of the important things about higher range instruments is you hear them more psychologically, whereas like lower and more percussive sounds, you hear more in your body. You feel more in your body, the movement. Every song benefits from vocals. That's why pop music is made of vocals. But you have to decide what the purpose is of what you're doing. So now the volume's higher. How does it affect the movement? So our body knows what to do because we've been listening to the beat. And now we're moving it more to a psychological place. My beat's a little boring. I could put a little bit more on it. I like it, actually. I think if we were going to put anything, it's pretty minimalistic. I think if anything, some goofy vocals. Now, are we down to do that? Are we going to make a goofy beat? I don't know. I feel like coming back, making another beat another time, and leaving this one exactly how it is. Because I want to show my finishing process, keeping the attention span of anybody trying to work with this. So now we're going to, now that we've saved up here, so we wanted to make sure it saves on the platform, we're going to download it as a mixdown. If you download it as tracks, that's so that you can like use each layer. That's up to you, you know. And I'm posting everything to SoundCloud, like a free SoundCloud, which will be maxed out soon. So the question for me is, do I want to keep using this platform? And that's one of the reasons why I chose to record it today and put it up on YouTube, because I'm thinking to myself, there's probably other people who want to learn how to use this platform. It's free. It's easy to use. It's not like introducing you to Logic or introducing you to FL Studios, where there is already a ton of tutorials. People who are great at making electronic music are already on there teaching. And I need to learn from them. I don't know how to use that kind of stuff. So I've got my folder set up here, pretty messy. I guess the point here is I want people to feel like they can do it too. I've got some messy folders that I'm putting this in. It doesn't matter what folder you put it in. So now that we've got that, we're going to go over here and we're going to, I've got my SoundCloud, see 163 minutes of 180. Jeez, what are you doing? I don't care. So we're going to choose that file. And we are going to place it into here. I like to find artwork from old video games. So, like, I'm going to think of a cool N64 title or something. What if I went with Pokemon Fire Red? Let's go with the Game Boy. And this is just my nostalgia checking. Like, what is this Unreal Engine stuff? Oh my goodness. That's cool. That's nostalgic. I'm going to take this picture. And then if it's a WebP file, you're not going to be able to use it. So you kind of want to just search till you get like a JPEG of some kind. And I'm just looking for something that kind of gives me the feel of what I'm trying to do here. Okay, so we got a JPEG. I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to check out my summer folder. And I'm going to upload it. Now that it's uploaded, I'm going to go here. And I'm going to add to my playlist. And I'm going to put it into... this is kind of my final playlist. I could... drop it into that. I think it'd be calming, cool, but like mainly just want to fill everything up and have like a very genuine amount of stuff in each one of these. I do think it does fulfill that role. So I'm looking at these playlists like, does it fit that playlist? Yeah. So this is my SoundCloud. I'll show you kind of how. When you go to the profile, it's kind of messy because you can see like there's a playlist that got started and then the songs are being posted. So each time you make a playlist, it like takes up a space, like boom. But if I were to go to playlists, which is ideally what I'm looking for, you get to see kind of a curation of things I've made. So this is a more kind of like scary core, kind of like more hectic. Do you think that YouTube will DMCA my own songs? or detect something from my own music. If that's the case, I'm not going to keep doing this very much. You hear that? So there's a lot more activity in that, and I've kind of changed from this type of music creation, so that's why it's in this playlist versus the playlist I've been working on. They're a lot cuter. I start with like a dusty guitar, you know, and I'm trying to kind of represent it with whatever picture I put. Unless I change the profile picture of the playlist, then whatever the first song is becomes the picture. Yeah, and I think the plays are from my own account, showing people like I am by no means doing anything. This is for you. You know, don't think about what's going on with music and industry in the world and the internet. It's so silly to get lost in that. If you're on, you're on, and then you kind of are a slave to that machine. So it's really up to you whether you want to do that. But for me, it's a creative experience. See, kind of going for a little bit more of a sex music, I'll be honest. But I wasn't doing that before. So it's a newer experience for me. Let's check that timing. I'll close it. Dun, dun, when you make these songs, it puts it in a key. Now, I kind of like that because I want to be able to play over my own songs and instruments. I want to play along. It keeps it in a BPM, keeps it in a key. It's not going to be complicated, like, it's not going to change from that beat, or that time signature, or that key. So that's one of the reasons why this music is great as a jam track. So this is a great way to make jam tracks too, like this one. I don't know what key it is in, but once I find that a key works, I know it's going to stay in that. I know it's staying in that BPM. So, I mean, it's just giving a lot of energy. I could be on the guitar ripping to this and then re-record that. And because of how samples work, that is, these samples have already been put up in the sense that you can use them to make more music and stuff. And the more you tear up the samples, the more you layer things on top, the more valid I think most people will feel it is, the more genuine. But to think that sample music isn't as genuine, it is kind of silly because, like, if you get on your guitar and you play like a cool guitar line, like, what if somebody already did that and used it for something you didn't even know? You know, you're coming to it from a genuine place. So you got to kind of look within there. And, yeah, just music is, there's only so many things you can do, right? But then once you start to get into the micro details of things, everything is actually new. Like, it's combinations and patterns, you know. If you were going to try to say that one note is validly owned by somebody, like the A note, you know, that's so silly, right? Is a line, like when you're doing art, is a certain line or curve, like, owned by somebody? No, but if you just, like, replicate something directly and try to play it off like you made it, that's disingenuous. And you kind of got to keep track of yourself with that one. This is some of my older, more breakbeaty stuff. I'm not showing this music because I think I'm dope or anything. I want to show what I've been able to create on BandLab. I've been able to create all this on this. So can you. When you initially go in BandLab, you don't have anything in your, like, My Sounds category. You just kind of go and find stuff and click on it, heart it, listen to a mixture that they made of it. Like, what is this? So let's turn this off for a second. Let's just hear this. And it'll give you a genre. So if you want to work with that and you want to see what you can create, here you are. If you like this kind of music, open up this sample and see what you can make with it. There you go. You're trying to do that. Maybe you're trying to build a jam track and you want to sing over it. Open this up and see what's up in there. So on its own, just stacking it, just like, here's my beat, here's my blah, 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 that can seem boring, right? But, like, if you take all these chunks and you build up that tower, you can make something that feels a little more characteristic. Like, what's this? Oh, we got choir sounds? Yeah. Drop it in there. That sounds like the same thing, but I'm really confused as to whether it is or not. One of the things I gotta do that kind of sucks is I gotta go through and take away some things. I kind of restart, which I don't want to do actually, but it's really important because if I go to my sound category, like I've got a lot of stuff, and it's gonna just feel kind of overwhelming. Another way to deal with that overwhelming is to just take one and just build from that, which might actually be kind of my next thing, because I was building from a lot of different places even today. So less is more at times, like taking just a single, like this one's kind of odd. But if I look at how many options I have, it's not that I need more. It's how I chop it up. It's how I break it. It's how I put effects on it. And I think I'll show more of that like the next time. Maybe my videos are going to be more closer to 45 minutes, an hour, to give more time to build this up. Be more realistically close to how much time I think you should spend on a beat. Now, at first, you're going to kind of... at first when you're making beats, it's going to take you forever because you're learning this stuff. But, like, it should be a flow state thing where you just, like, do this for an hour and you're like, that's a beat. Cool. And when this is inevitably done, which is going to be kind of really awesome and rewarding, but also sad, I'm probably going to move on to the next thing. And like I'd like to upload my drawings just like I did here, and then upload like video game pictures like how I did with this type of thing. So, and then use the next one. So the next SoundCloud, when I open that SoundCloud up, I'm going to go in and grab all these playlists from this one and like them and pull them in. And also pull in some songs from my acoustic playing.
I should have never thought about it. Lost your number. Deleted you from my Facebook. I don't know why I didn't. It's a wasteful idea.
So that comes from a completely different SoundCloud where I was working with just my guitar and singing. Same with this one. But it's a different SoundCloud. I brought it along by using the likes system. There's some other stuff here that brings in my other SoundClouds, Totally, Bird. You get 180 minutes on the SoundCloud, and I just wanted to punch those things. Looks like I took a lot from Bird. Maybe when I went through the likes, I was really into that. When we get back to this, where we're going to make our next account, I might just pull just that. And then pull these playlists because they're more closely related to the sound of what's coming next. But if I make a SoundCloud for my acoustic playing, I might go through my likes and be a little more serious about each one of these things. So that's just a great way to keep these things compiled. You're using the internet as a sense of storage. Now, in the case of these things, I have all these files on my computer. I can go back and grab. Looks like I have all of them right here in the folder named after it. Put that on a drive or something, or put it on a disk. This is important things that you might want to do so that you can keep these things as physical items. Maybe it's really up to you, but I think you should think it through. Like, look at how the world is changing and think those kind of things through so that you can keep track of these. I might even record jam tracks over these and put it on a separate SoundCloud, right? So then basically I have another degree of saving it. So go in, find the key of these songs, go play guitar lines over it real quick, upload that. Right, this is 180 minutes of music. If I cut it pretty close, I'm probably going to get almost all the songs. I might have to cut out like a long song just to have that like room for before when the song begins and ends, like the recording being a little bit longer, whereas these are going to be very precise. So like this is 2 minutes and 49 seconds. My jam track over it might be 3 minutes. So you got to like give yourself that room. So we look through and we find most of my songs are pretty short, which I think is good. People's attention spans can be kind of small. Like this is 16 seconds. I made this for a video game. One of the coolest things I ever made. It's 16 seconds. And then I have a victory beat. Where's my victory? 8 seconds. Yeah, it doesn't redline. That's cool. Yeah, and maybe I'll do some videos on how to use Papermaker or RPG Maker and stuff. Those are really cool tools that people use to make RPGs. I kind of want to upload tutorials primarily because I think that gives me a sense of meaning. So we're going to cut this. Basically, we're just going to go back in and check and make sure everything got uploaded correctly because sometimes there's issues. And then we can chop out a bandlab. So let's look at the top of this. Let's say looking good. We have here ourselves. We have here ourselves in our playlist. So we got this in there. Cool. Okay. Almost reached my limit. I know. I'm not paying for SoundCloud. None of you guys should either. I'm not like unpromoting them. SoundCloud's awesome, but like just use the tools. Be grateful for the tools you have and the things that are given to you for free. Let somebody else with a lot of money take advantage of those things. Okay. Have a great day, guys.